talking?
Just
Camera?
look at me.
Okay.
Sean Callahan here. We're in McCook with Nebraska running backs coach Ryan Health. Coach, getting the chance to make the rounds. This has got to be one of the fun times of the year, just to get a chance to get out and see different parts of the state, meet a lot of different Husker fans.
No, it's been great. We were in Ogallala last night, and then this morning went to Imperial, and then obviously now we're here in McCook. Got me a little barbecue down the road. And I like to try to go to different spots you don't ever get to eat that much, and so good. Great people, great fans. They're excited, and you get a lot of really good questions, and it's fun. I've really enjoyed it. I know Frank has too, and look forward to the McCook deal today.
Now, a lot of us follow you on Twitter, and we get envious of your trip on the road, all the pictures of the food, all the restaurants. What was the best place you checked out this spring?
Oh, when you look at it, it's probably Papacitos and In-N-Out. That's kind of my staple when I go places. But, I mean, there's a lot of good ones. Then I get home. I'm like, I better work out in the gym a little bit to run all this off. But it's good. All the towns and cities we go to, everybody's been very open arms to us, being at Nebraska, and so it's really fun to be in really year one of getting out and getting our brand out there and really building this thing how we need to.
You guys kind of started behind the eight ball, just getting things rolling and recruiting. Do you finally feel like you're somewhat caught up now as far as where you want to be going into maybe the season? Yeah,
I think we've made up a lot of ground in the last 2 or 3 months, getting some 2020 offers. I feel good about my 2019 running back board. I'm on the 2020s. I already got a board started there, probably with 60, 70 kids. We got some offers out, and I've actually started in 2021 a little bit in some of the free time, that limited time we get. But, I think each position coach is excited to get their boards going, and then obviously in the areas we have, I want to do a good job. Still got some work to do there, but we'll continue to build relationships and get the names of the kids we need to recruit.
I wanted to ask you about junior college recruiting. What is your real process of kind of just keeping tabs of all the names? Because information's somewhat harder to get on JUCO guys, but it seems like you've got a pretty good system where you keep a list of guys, and when you need a certain guy at a position, all of a sudden, Held's got another JUCO, they're adding to the commit list.
Well, a lot of it's the relationship piece. That's why it's so important that you go around every year to these schools, so you get their list, but that list always changes because they're always getting transfers in. So I'm always trying to keep up with guys. I use the internet some too, because I can't get everybody. I can't go to every school. And I'm actively recruiting 20 to 30 kids right now that we don't, they're not offers for us, but I know that if we need to get something in a pinch, hey, here's 2 or 3 guys at this position I think are worth at least looking at. But then sometimes those guys move on, and now you got to add 2 more. But it's an ongoing deal of trying to find guys that can help the roster. But then again, they got to make sense for the long-term goals and long-term, of what we're trying to get done in terms of personnel.
How many JUCOs would you say you went into over the month of May?
Well, all the Kansas schools, Mississippi schools, all but 3 there. Texas, all but a couple there. Then I went out to Arizona and hit a few there. Probably 30 to 35. I didn't get out to California this year just because when you add the 10th coach, your days are limited a little bit, because you got to spread the days out. But I'm, actively recruiting kids in California, a few of them. But we'll try to get out to those schools, and with a lot of them being close to us, there's a lot of great players, and so we gotta be able to recruit locally, and I count that as local, even though they're junior college, just because they're right down the road, and they need to know about us.
Summer workouts have begun for you guys. Trey Bryan, a lot of people want to know about where he's at. What can you tell us about where Trey is, kind of his what he's been able to do over the course of the summer?
Well, he's working, again, kind of like when we talked during the spring, he's working with Mark and his staff, and, they've been, progressing him, into some different drills and different things. You probably, he posted a couple stuff on Twitter you could see, but I talked to him, obviously, frequently, and he says he's feeling really, really good. There's still a good 7 or 8 weeks, or 6 or 7 weeks left of the summer that he needs to keep progressing. And then ultimately it'll come down to, when you put the pads on, how do you feel? Because at the end of the day, football is a fast game, and you got to be at the feeling good about things. So we'll see. He's got a great attitude. He works hard. Hopefully he can get to where he can help our football team, and he feels good about going out there and doing his thing.
Over the offseason, Ben Miles left, so a lot of people led to the debate, is the fullback position done at Nebraska? I'm sure you heard and read a lot about that. Will you guys have a fullback? I mean, what is the future of the fullback at Nebraska now that there aren't any on scholarship going forward?
Well, when you watch our offense, the tight end really is the fullback. We just don't have him in the I formation per se. He's at a wing. He's in the backfield. He's going to block linebackers. He's going to arc around and block safeties, just like the fullback position. It's not a position that we're going to turn and hand the ball off to. But it's kind of a different. What we do is a little different way or age of things. Trust me, I love the fullback position just like everybody. It's just kind of morphed into a different type of kid we're looking for. We want a 6'4", 6'5" kid you can split out as a receiver, line him up in the backfield. But they have to do a lot of the similar things that the fullback did when we were back in all of those years at Nebraska. So it's just a different position. But we trust me, I have the utmost respect for all the fans that want that position. I get you. It's just morphed into a different spot at this point.
So he's not gone. It's just been modified.
It's been modified. It's a different way of in our offense how we do it. But when you end up watching throughout the course of the year, you'll be able to see, okay, I see what they're talking about because of the same things we asked the fullback to do back in the day. We're asking these tight ends to do. It's just we're not gonna line up and give them the ball. We want the running backs or the quarterbacks or receivers to get the ball in space.
This spring, Greg Bell was your newcomer on campus. Was he kind of everything you expected him to be, and where do you want to see him grow now in August?
I want to see him improve in the knowledge of the offense, just like all of them. I want to see him, have a great summer of conditioning, and I think when those things happen, continue to get stronger. I think when that happens, that'll help him to continue to impress. But you see glimpses of, okay, he can really be a guy that can help our team. Now we have Miles Jones on campus, which is big. He's going to be, we talked about before, the kind of that duck R position where he'll be receiver, be a running back, kind of some of the guys we had at UCF and what they've had in the Oregon in the past. And Moses Bryant's on campus. He's a kid that, depending on where he ends up playing, that's up to the head ball coach. But I know that if he's on offense, he'll be the duck R position too. So we got some guys that we're bringing in the fold, and then Maurice is still working on his eligibility as well. So it's a good place to be for year one. And but all our guys just got to have a great summer, a great last 7 or 8 weeks of the summer to get ready for this season.
I got to ask you about Friday Night Lights. The next 2 Fridays, camps will be open to the fans. Last year, Nebraska had, I want to say, 7,000-8,000 fans come out. What are you looking forward to about that? And how can that atmosphere maybe help you get the attention of some of the kids that you'll be bringing into Lincoln the next 2 Fridays?
Well, anytime I get a chance to get into Memorial Stadium, that's a treat, to be able to coach in there, 1. 2 is what the fans got to understand is, what are we doing to separate ourselves from all the other schools that are recruiting these kids? And so when these kids come in and they see all these fans here, I mean, right there, that gives the to them, like, hey, this is a special place. I mean, fans are coming out on a Friday night to watch me train and do this camp. So we have to do everything in our power to put ourselves in position to be different as we build this thing back up and make Nebraska relevant again, because kids these age don't remember the national championships in the 90s. They don't. We got to be able to put something out there that builds equity with them. And obviously being on the field and getting wins is the biggest thing, but everything we can do to set us apart that's positive, that's what we need to do.
Well, Coach, great seeing you out here in McCook.
Absolutely. It's great to be here.